and I was born in mainland China, and I grew up during the Cultural Revolution.
And you grew up speaking Mandarin.
Yes, I grew up speaking Mandarin and learned English when I was in the second grade in the elementary school.
And she's able to translate English to Mandarin and Mandarin to English beautifully. The Chinese records. The Chinese emperors kept extensive records of their reigns. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah, I need you for verification over here.
Okay.
All
Yes,
right.
ma'am.
If we look at the records of the day Jesus was crucified, History of Latter Han Dynasty, Volume 1, Chronicles of Emperor Guangwu, is that fairly close?
Yes. Guangwu. Yes.
I'll get it. Guangwu. All
Yes.
right. 7th year, we find something very interesting. Summer, 4th month of the year of the day Renwu, the imperial edict reads, Yin and Yang were mistakenly switched and the sun and moon were eclipsed. The sins of the people are now on one man. Pardon is proclaimed to all under heaven. Wait a minute. Is there, can you say in 1 minute, is there in the historical records, in the cryptic, the original cryptographs, the original diagrams of language, is there a message of a garden, of a couple, of the entrance of a snake, of their falling, of their sacrifice, and righteousness applied to them? Is that found in your records?
Yes. For example, from the written, the righteousness actually is the ship. The written is like a lamp. English may be called lamp, and then that means a ship on the top, and then me, I, the written on the bottom. So you can see is lamp cover me. So that written on, that's what we call righteousness.
Are you saying lamb covered me?
Yes.
L-A-M-B, not L-A-M-P?
No, it's A-M-B.
I'm so glad you've been covered by the blood. Would you tell me, in your original language, and you grew up speaking and thinking Mandarin, is there in the symbolic records, in the actual language of the people of China, the most massive people on the globe, is there a record, symbolic record of how you get righteousness applied?
You know, this is an old written. So if you look at, we have old written. So Taiwan still keep old written. And mainland China after 1949, when Communist Party came, it just totally changed. They changed, become, we call it simplified. So we learn it from simplified. But if you read like my parents, their generation is learning all the writtens. So that's how you can see from all the writtens, you can determine how that word meaning, where they come from in each section, how they put together. So that's how we learn a little bit, especially Taiwan and Hong Kong, they keep all the written, and then they still have a lot of Christian there. Mainland China after 1949 is no longer. And recent years, I believe after 2000, and then Christians started coming back, and I can feel the population more and more until 2014. So totally changed again when leader changed.
Yes.
So one time after Cultural Revolution, after I can see 1990 is totally open to the world, and that's how China developed so faster recent years. And then you can see Christian population is a grow up. That's how we started. Our written have this kind of interesting thing related to the Bible, and then people started researching. That's how I knew, I learned some, and then when I married with my husband, that's when we started talking. The major in the past is always Buddhism and Taoism. Taoism come from inside China, but Buddhism actually is implemented from Hinduism, from India. So that's how our culture is so different. And then that's why written is a lot. So you can see we have so many words together and make a meaningful
Yes.
written. So like just like today you talk about the heavenly, like a king, like you show the 天坛 that picture this morning, and that's how the in the past our emperor, the king, they will worship to the god. Actually, we call 上帝 is a god.
上帝.
Yes, but actually also is a heavenly father. So in the history, every dynasty king, they're like, oh, I was, how to say, pointed by God, pointed by heavenly father. That's in our history is. And then they worship with, and always use, every year they will worship to the heavenly father, make sure country is peaceful, the people have a happy life, we have a good economy. That's how the history started, enrolled there.
And the pictograph for righteousness.
Yes.
Would you describe the pictograph for righteousness for us?
It's a lamb cover me.
A lamb
Covers me.
me.
Yes.
That is
It's
awesome. To wrap up what I think they will both verify, the most populous nation on earth. God must love the Chinese because He made so many of them. The most populous people on earth, the Chinese, have had from the very inception of their kind, of their people in their history, the message, the same message that is in Genesis, and their history goes back older than Moses. And it goes back to Noah. So from Noah, yes, they can trace their history back to 8 people in a boat. There are ideograms, 8 people in a boat. So they go back to Noah, and they have the message that there was a garden, a snake entered, people sinned, sacrifices recorded, righteousness can be obtained as a result of that sacrifice, and there's someone to come. The man from heaven. Man from heaven died. Shangdi, the creator God of the Chinese, surely appears to be one and the same as the creator God of the Hebrews. In fact, one of the Hebrew names for God is El Shaddai, which is phonetically similar to Shangdi. El Shaddai, Shangdi. Even more similar is the early Zhu pronunciation of Shangdi, which is Shangdi. Is that correct?
Yes.
Shangtai.
Actually, it's a 上帝, but depend on how they translate. Because I think later the book will come from Taiwan or Cantonese, so sometimes we mix up.
Or Cantonese. Another name for their god, which the ancient Chinese used interchangeably with Shangdi, was heaven, as she mentioned earlier. When they speak of heaven, it's not simply the heavens, it's the person, the creator God, correct?
Correct.
All right. We're on the same page. Jian. Xing Jiang, a scholar of the early Han Dynasty, and I murdered that, I'm sure, but time's getting away from us. Shangdi is another name for heaven. Jian. Is it Jian? Tian. Tian.
Tian means sky, so the heaven is above the sky.
All right. The great philosopher Moz 408 to 382 BC also thought of a heaven, John, as the creator God. All right. And so it was written from, here's what he wrote. I know heaven loves men dearly, not without reason. Heaven ordered the sun, the moon, and the stars to enlighten and guide them. Heaven ordained the 4 seasons, spring, autumn, winter, and summer, to regulate them. Heaven sent down snow, frost, rain, and dew to grow the 5 grains and flax and silk, so that the people could use and enjoy them. Heaven and remember, heaven is the person, the creator God, established the hills and river, ravines and valleys, and arranged many things to minister to man's good and to bring evil or judgment in his life.